So Highguard has really gotten off to a rough start here, and the developers are actually listening to the community and their feedback. One of the biggest pieces of feedback we saw in the first few days of Highguard's announcement was that it would be better because the maps are pretty huge to have a 5v5 mode. And well, the listened will go over to their patch notes here. So they say 5v5 and performance patch and a new base. 5v5 and performance patch and a new base. For our first weekend, we're excited to drop an experimental 5v5 raid playlist, a new base, and a bunch of performance improvements for 3v3, along with some more options in the setting menus for people to customize their game. Read the details below. 5v5 raid mode, experimental playlist. We heard the feedback. For the weekend, we're experimenting with a 5v5 raid mode. This is a separate playlist and not meant to replace 3v3s. 3v3 raids are still there for people who enjoy it. The lobby has been updated to allow for parties of 5. While the mode is live, grab 4 of your friends and jump into the hectic raids. A few small tweaks for this mode. Raids are now 10 lives instead of 6. Respawns are slightly longer during raids to allow generators to be planted/defused. Dev note. As some of you know, we are working on optimizations across the game. Many are in this patch, and a 3v3 should see good improvements, but adding 4 more players to the game is not going to improve performance, right? Please keep that in mind as you try 5v5. Dev note 2, firing range does not support 5v5 at this time, so the play button will be grayed out if your party is over 3. They also added a new base called the Soulwell. Soulwell is a dark relic from a lost age. The Iron Vigil has now prepared this base construct for use in the field where the dead still speak. The new base will be added to the rotation in all modes, optimizations. The patch contains several optimizations that touch on animation, performance, projectiles, draw submission times, and other gameplay systems. These optimizations benefit console and PC, but every PC is different, so the exact speed up to the overall frame rate is dependent on GPU and CPU and other factors. Quality of life, enable these visual settings on PC and consoles. Motion blur toggle for PC and consoles. Anostrophic material toggle for consoles. PC already has this. So I think it's great that you were willing to listen to everybody's feedback because it wasn't looking good for Highguard. I've already gone on record on my main channel, where you get everything, where I did a whole video on it saying that I actually do enjoy it. I think it's very fun, but that very clearly wasn't the case. It had nearly 100,000 players check it out on Steam, and then it's dropped down to under 10,000, though I do think it's a little bit higher up now. With 5v5, I think a lot of people will jump in and play it, or play it for the first time, grab a bunch of your friends, see if you can, get a good team going. I think it could be very fun. I tried out the 5v5 mode both last night and this morning, and I have to say that I do really enjoy it. I think it adds a nice element to the game, and I think that it could be a solid, main game mode for the game. Granted, like the patch says, it's not going to stick around forever at the moment. It's just a test, and instead, 3v3 will be the way to go for the foreseeable future. I do think that it shows that the game probably should have launched in a beta or early access state, but with all that said, I do think that people were kind of unreasonably hard on a independent game right off the rip. Granted, a lot of that has to do with Jeff Keighley putting it as the one more thing for the Game Awards, but I will always say that, especially when a game is free, try it for yourself, see if you like it. There are plenty of games that people who I even have like aligned taste with play, and I like it, even if they don't, or vice versa. So you're never going to really know unless you try it out. And I've primarily played on Xbox, and it's run really well on my Series S. So I haven't really run into the performance issues. I did one glitch one time where when I was riding the mount, instead of like holding the reins, my character was like this. So I could like see my hand in the peripheral, but that's really been the only thing. It kind of reminded me of The Darkness. I don't know if you ever played that game. Probably showing my age here, but other than that, I think it's awesome that the team is willing to listen to players and their feedback and implement it so quickly. Let me know your thoughts. Have you tried out 5v5 mode? Have you tried out Highguard at all? Let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for checking out this video. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe. We have new videos coming out all the time on this channel that includes shorts, so head over to the short feed for more videos there. And check out our main channel, We Get Everything, where we do video game essays more in-depth and scripted than on this channel. Then we also have our sports channel, Wicked Sports, which we cover sports news, and our podcasting channel, Better Radio, which hosts all of our podcasts, as well as our news channel, History is Wicked, where we cover cryptids, urban legends, and weird history stories. Again, thank you so much for checking this one out, and I will see you in the next one.